Technical
Okay. So
difficulties.
so so yeah, I was just like, oh my God. I think it was on Catalina Island, if I can remember correctly. It might have been Catalina Island, but it was a full, I say whoever finds this is about to be so happy. And it was a full card collection. I almost took it home, but I was like, I don't know if I want to take it because I don't know anyone. I'll just be sitting there holding it. But I
Hmm.
should have took it. I should have took it because then yeah, I definitely should have took it. And I swear it was on Catalina Island, um,
Yeah. See.
which is an interesting place. It's beautiful, but it's not a whole bunch to do except for eat food, and food's not really good. And then just kind of tour the island, the 10% that's occupied, because the rest is Buffalo.
Hmm.
But if you Catalina Island, if you're not familiar with it, it's actually a 45 minute. I'm sorry, an hour and 15 minute ferry ride to off the California coast,
Okay.
and it's a beautiful island. So, but anyway, what's up, guys?
What's
Welcome.
up,
Come on
everybody?
in.
How we doing? Good
Come
morning.
on
Good
in.
morning.
Come on in.
We letting y'all like hop in and come
He
chill with
has the
us. So.
very white voice today, taking Lewis's place. Where did I get William from?
Y'all are
Taking
funny.
Lewis's place.
Yeah, that boy didn't get
Very
back on
funny.
the show. Where that man
Very
at?
funny. I know we miss him. I miss his spunk, and I miss his smile and his trying not to smile. All that. Because he always trying not to smile, but he really be trying to smile. So, but yes, but that's okay. We have a guest today, Mr. Aaron Teeley. You gotta put the T in there.
Yeah, that's important.
So
Get the T in
that's
there.
important. You got to get the T in there. So you guys come on in. We're gonna go ahead and get started in a second. Oh, it's still 10:02, so you don't do the music till like what, 10:08?
Yeah, I try to. We talk. We were talking. Cause so we were talking about the Skybox collection of cards, and
Yes.
yeah, no, I collected a bunch of cards, and so I have like Marvel card collection cards and Spider-Man, X-Men, stuff like that. But then I was doing basketball cards for a minute, and then I was just kind of like, everybody's doing basketball. I'm always like, everybody's doing something. So if everybody's doing it, it sometimes sounds good, but then it could be tougher, and especially if you're trying to collect mint stuff and make money off of it and get it scored and stuff. And then so I just put the skybox ones away, and then I was going through all my stuff because I'm redoing my office and cleaning out and stuff. And I was talking to my boy Jamal, and he's just like, "What you gonna do with the skybox cards?" So what you gonna do with them other cards? Because some of them were holographic and all that. And he's like, "All right, look, give me a bulk deal. Tell me."
Oh wow, you gonna sell them?
Yeah. I'm trying to eliminate space, so I got some toys that are still packaged and stuff like that I'm trying to sell and all that. So I'm gonna be putting stuff on eBay. And
Yeah, make sure you get them appraised or looked at, because the holographics to was it Skybox, Tops, Upper Deck, those
mhm.
brands matter as far as value.
Oh yeah. No, I looked it all up. I looked them all up. I know the price. I actually I took the notes and I sent them to him. I said, "These are the cards I got. This is what they were. Make me an offer."
Oh wow. Yeah, I hate I didn't grab those cards. I could have, I might have could have bought me a new car or something.
I don't know. It's so funny because our sons, they have like the Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon cards and stuff, and baseball. I mean, not baseball, football and basketball cards themselves. And so my wife was like, "Oh, they're in a box at at our mom's in a container," and I was like, "You should have just brought them up here. So if anything happens, they got them here and they know where the stuff is."
Mm-hmm.
Because my sons, they ain't thinking about it. They're like,
Oh, them Pokemon cards, that's a high item right there.
"Oh yeah,
Them holographic.
I got a friend. He plays this
Charizards,
game
all
called
of that.
Magic. He was when I was doing the music thing, and we were in a rap group. Him and the other guy who was in the group with us. They played Magic all the time, and it's kind of like the card version of Dungeons and Dragons. And I tell you, them cards are worth lots of money. And
Really?
when we were young, he had the hustle. Like his hustle was he would play you for the rare card you got, for the rare card he got, and he would beat you, and he would take your rare card. And the thing is, he'd be like, if you want it, I'll sell it to you. And that's how he would hustle about their money like that. I was like, yo.
That's a nice
That
little
is
hustle.
funny. Especially if you winning. Especially if you winning.
Those guys are good. They was getting people. They had their decks all set up. They were serious about it. I was like, let's play spades. Spades person.
Okay.
You know?
Let me play spades. Okay, back to dominoes. Shoot, let me win my stuff back with dominoes.
Right?
That is too funny. So
All right.
Pokemon is hot right now. That's interesting. I got a funny story about the Pokemon movie. Go ahead.
Oh, which one? Because you talking about the live action one?
The first one.
Oh, the first cartoon?
One.
All right, go ahead. What you got?
The first Pokemon movie, my daughter was probably about maybe 5, 4, whatever, when it came out. And I took her to the movies, of course, because she wanted to see the Pokemon movie. So we went to the movies. Mm-hmm. I was sitting in that movie, and them things was like, Pika, Pika, Pikachu, Pika, Pika, Pachu, a choo choo Pika. I was just like this. And she was just like,
also, So you didn't know what you was walking into.
So listen. I left my child in that movie theater. I walked outside that movie theater and sat on that bench right by the door, which, there's an exit door, so the Lord will add a cover. Amen. And I was sitting there and I called somebody and I just sat there. I said, I absolutely cannot. And it was so funny. And I went back in there to check on her from time to time. And she was just like, I was like, you having a good time? And I walked my butt right back out.
TK, you can't do the little one like that.
I promise.
There were some emotional moments in that film.
I couldn't take it. All I heard was Pika, Pika, Pikachu, Pika, Pikachu, Pikachu, Pika, Pika. I was like,
you missed the bond between Ash and Pikachu, okay? All right?
I missed it all. I missed it all. And I probably have lacked in the last 2 decades because I missed it. I'm just playing. Could have had some personal growth going on. Amen. I probably needed it. Good morning, Crystal.
Morning, Crystal. Good morning, Tone.
Good morning, Tone. So, yeah, right. That was so funny.
Let's go.
You ready?
Ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and get this show on the road.
My shoulder's ready.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Black Filmmakers Lounge, Saturday morning independent industry Shoptalk. I'm your host, Michael Melvin, with my co-host, Tamira TK Henderson. Our special guest today is Aaron T. Lee, and we're going to talk about documentary filmmaking and the process of it. And we're going to be having a good time as we answer some questions with you guys. We're going to talk about what you watching, what's on TV that you've been checking out this week. And we like to thank everybody for joining us. If you ever watch the Black Filmmakers Lounge, if you're not familiar with the show, we talk about the study of learning of independent filmmaking as an industry. We like to help people network and build and have knowledge and insight as they move into the industry of making films. So we like to support that and build those relationships and that knowledge and education and skill set. So that's what we're really about here at the Black Filmmakers Lounge. So we'd like to thank you for joining us if it's your first time, and we hope you continue to come back. But as we do anytime and every time, let's get the show on the road as we make it happen. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do this.
I already knew. When you said I'm going to do this, I already knew. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, Amber. Good morning.
Good morning.
You say we're going to talk about what you watching.
Yeah, as we either end the show or start the show, but we're going to start it this week. What are you watching? What did you watch this week? Let's start with our guest, Aaron, Mr. Aaron T. Lee.
Yes,
welcome to the show, by the way. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, Aaron, what are you watching, movies or television shows this week?
Well, I'm excited tonight because it is the season finale of BMF. 50 Cent. So I ain't gonna lie. Look, I like that. I'm a fanatic. You know, I like that show. So
Mm.
I'm one of those people that dials in. Saturday. I don't wait till Sunday. Nah, it goes up at midnight. I'm watching at midnight. I don't get on social media and spoil it. You know, the next morning. I do. You know, I
Good.
respect that. But every Saturday night, I make sure that I'm on demand. It's up. Hit play. I
Oh
also
wow.
I don't know if you guys saw the Kirk Warner movie, the American Underdog. They released the trailer. I want to say yesterday. It comes out on Christmas, so I was a big Kirk Warner fan, so I will be
Yeah.
seeing that. So they released the trailer. It looks great. So I'm very interested in seeing that as well. So I watched the trailer like 3 or 4 times because it was a good trailer.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Kirk Warner movie. I have to write that down. Okay.
Yeah, it's called
Yeah.
American Underdog.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. So BMF is your show that you've been watching. Anything else you've been watching this week?
Well, you know I'm a sports fanatic, so I'm always up on the sports. It's I do have to watch Kevin Durant. He has a film out with Ice Cube's son. I can't get the name. It's on Apple TV. I cut my Apple TV because all the
Swagger.
subscriptions to start.
Swagger.
That's what it is.
That
Yeah.
thing. I told them last week.
I gotta
TK
check
did
that
mention
out.
it last week.
Check that out.
Oh my God, I saw the pilot and I was just like, oh, that young talent, and Reggie Prince Bythewood is the director, right? Oh my God, it is
was good?
amazing.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna put that on my to-do list.
It is
All right.
so good. And that young talent,
Okay.
was so good.
All right, TK. See, there you go. Now that's your segue in. What you watching this week?
So what had happened was, I'm gonna say this because I said it before the show, but I'm gonna say it again because this is learning experience. I did not watch anything. Number one, I have 2 reasons. So I'm gonna give my 2 reasons, then we'll go to you, Michael. Okay. So first of all, I unplugged my Roku box when I was in Texas for the week and a half, and when I came back, because I unplug everything in my house when I'm gone for extended periods of time. The Roku has not connected in my room or my living room back to my internet, so I have been struggling. I finally got one of them connected back a few days ago, and then had a small power surge, and I cannot get back on. So if anybody would love to help me, please just hit me in the comments. I'll give you my number, and we'll get this thing set up because I'm struggling right now.
Oh wow.
The second reason is I had a rejected first draft. I have been writing down next month. Well, it was 2007. Okay, since 2007, you can do the math because I got to keep talking.
Okay.
Since 2007, I have been writing, and I did something. I received an outline that was more like a book outline, and instead of going through the elements with the person through a screenplay structure and getting on the phone with them, I tried to carve out a movie, but it's a life story. And so it became that was like, it was like, nope, this is not going to work. So I had to go ahead and flip back and do the whole, and just write the outline straight as they sent it. So then they can go back in and cut. And so I have been hammering that all week. And I had the table read for one of my clients, Greg Ellis. I don't know if y'all should know Greg Ellis. If y'all football, first round draft pick, Dallas Cowboys for 10 years. Okay. Anyway, so his script. So I co-wrote his script. He gives me the story, like 26 pages, and I make it into an actual script. So we did the table read for that Thursday night, which is my birthday night. And then I had to tweak something else. But so that's why I haven't watched anything this week. But mainly because of Netflix, because I would have watched 2 episodes or The Harder They Fall last night.
Oh.
But I can't get on my Netflix or my Roku box. So I don't see any comments. Okay, nobody. Okay, so Michael.
See, that's why you need a smart TV. Now I'll do smart TVs. I got Apple.
That's why
TV.
I need a smart man. Come on, somebody.
See, there you go.
They say you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
But so I did finish catching up on BMF. I watched Hit Monkey, which is a Hulu show. It's a Marvel, it's a cartoon. It's along the lines of like Deadpool and stuff, but it's animated. And it's kind of cool. I was tired. My grind is different. So if I fall asleep on something, it's not because it was boring or anything. It's just because I was tired. But it was kind of cool so far. I think I'm on like episode 6, 7. And then what else did I watch? That was it. I got certain shows I'm still watching, like Young Justice, and but movie-wise, I can't not think of what movies I sat and watched this week, which is interesting. Because usually I catch a movie. I find the time to watch some type of movie. I know, like, so if you do have HBO Max, though, because I saw this movie as we got passes to go from Warner Brothers, was King Richard. That dropped yesterday on HBO Max and in the movie theaters. So if you haven't seen that, it's a very inspirational film. You should definitely check it out.
You want to check that out this afternoon?
Oh, okay, yeah, cool, man, yeah. Because
I'm going at some point this week.
Yeah, you got to definitely check it out. Because I enjoyed it. My wife originally was like, wait. And then she watched it and she's like, oh, that was good. So another thing I'm going to be watching is the Cowboy Bebop series on Netflix. So I'm going to be checking that out. They have a live action version. You can also see the animated original show on Netflix as well. But Cowboy Bebop is good. It's like a space, Japanese animation space cowboy type thing with bounty hunters and stuff. And a boy from Luke Cage is on it. It's not the villain of the second season. I can't remember his name, Mustafa or something like that. I gotta remember it. So definitely check that out. That's about it right now. My show's coming back on.
What show?
Power Book 2. That starts tonight. So when we watch the season finale of BMF, I'm gonna watch Power Book 2 because that's me and my wife's thing.
I'm with you. I'm right there. I'm locked in. I'm all locked in.
I'm waiting because Mary. I was like, Mary is it's a good show. When that season of Book 2, the first season happened, and I was like, I'm not sure about this because Power was fun. But now it's kind of like, all right, they making this happen, and they're smart. And here's why I say Stars and 50 are smart. They overlap their shows. So when the season finale happens for one show, the next show is coming. Like that same night. Your
subscription.
So they keep you got it. You're not going to cancel that subscription because
before
you would cancel and wait until the new season came on because like ain't nothing I'm watching on yet. And then now it's like boom, boom. Because soon as this one ends, Tommy comes. As soon as Tommy ends, it's like wait, they just boom, boom.
Isn't it like
y'all watching
Governor Tate?
Governor Tate's one comes. Yeah, so it's like they know what they're doing. So that's a smart move because you can't do it no more. You can't be like, I'm gonna cancel and wait till the show come back. So good morning, Acting Like Tanya. What's up? How you doing?
What you guys watching? I don't see anything in the comments. We're gonna ask you.
Yeah, what y'all got going on? What y'all checking out? All right. So as we begin to talk, so today we're gonna talk about some good stuff. Oftentimes when we're on here, we're talking about narrative filmmaking. It's a huge focus because that's what most filmmakers tend to work on, are narratives. But as an educator myself, I teach narrative filmmaking and teach documentary filmmaking. And so we have this young gentleman here, Aaron T. Lee. He's a producer, director, and he created, or he's currently still in production, making tweaks to his recent, and is it your first documentary, Aaron?
This is my first big documentary, yes.
Okay. So yeah, and he's been working on it for quite a while, actually. So the documentary process can be long and tedious, but we're going to talk about documentary filmmaking and what we go through. Crystal says she's watching BMF, and her old Mafia collection. Amber said Insecure.
Okay. Watch The Harder They Fall. Gonna check out King Richard tonight. Y'all supposed to go to see King Richard last night.
I'm gonna just let you know, Amber. Yeah, that's my girlfriend. That's her. Yeah, that's
okay.
Her.
Welcome,
her.
Amber.
Oh, Amber. I was wondering who Amber was. Hey, Amber.
Hello, Amber.
Checking
how you
doing? With the bonnet. Come on, bonnet.
So you can't tell TK stuff like
that. She like, you told her about my butt.
It is what it is. It's leopard, by the way. It's leopard.
It was a leopard bonnet.
Movie night.
Oh,
okay,
Lord.
Come on, leopard.
Aaron, you don't want to start, man, because I'm telling you, I get on my wife all the time. I look because she have a leopard jacket. I said, man, I know you from the streets, but you don't have to do all that.
Wait, leopard is hold up, time out in the whole show. You trying to say leopard is like a street thing?
To me it is, because that's the women that I mostly saw wearing leopard pants and jackets and stuff, you know.
And Aaron?
My mom ain't wearing leopard. My mother did not wear leopard.
Some type of stereotype connected.
Yeah.
Type of
okay, I was gonna say, don't be scared, Aaron, because Amber's right there. Because Amber's on here and behind you at the house. Look, don't be scared to say what you really want to say.
I tell her all the time. When she put it on, look like she got a mushroom head. She look like Mario Super Brothers, you know, like that mushroom head.
I'm telling you, when I see my wife put on leopard, I said, the only time I associate leopard, let me tell you, because my mom never wore leopard. You know, my mom wore other stuff. She had a house coat and all that other stuff back in the day. But I never saw leopard. But when I watched like the Bundys, I remember Peg had them leopard leggings on. Or the jacket with the black leggings on and stuff. And I was like, and then, but when, if you know, I live in the DMV. So like you get around and people were like, okay, you knew who was wearing them leopard prints.
Okay. I'm not gonna say what I'm thinking.
Yeah, there's certain outfits.
There are some negative notions attached to leopard.
So are they only for specific times? That's all I'm gonna say. That's what I'm wondering. But you know, a lady in the streets, you know, whatever.
Oh, no, not like that. Nah. But like, I'm talking about streets, like hood. Like I ain't talking about lady of the street. I'm talking about the hood women I knew wore leopard print.
I was today old.
It's like zebra print. Who wears zebra print? Come on now.
If people wear zebra print because they make it look so nice, and you know, us ladies, like do I have any zebra print? I don't have no zebra print. I don't think I have something. But anyway, so zebra print, they'll make a really pretty top or something like that you can wear that zebra print. Okay, it's nice to know what you guys feel about these animal prints. Is there any animal print that you do like women to wear while we're on the subject? We're just in the timeout. We're gonna go
you know
back
what?
in a second.
I don't know, because when I was growing up, there's this it's not checkered though, but it's black and white. It looks like checkered from a distance, but when you get on it, it's a certain pattern and it's universal. Like every time period. It's not animal. I don't know, because I didn't see a lot of women wearing animal stuff.
Except
if I did see women wear animal stuff, come on, I'm a 70s kid. So like if I did see people wearing animal something, it was a fur coat. You know what I mean? Like, and even that sometimes was hood. But like
we all watch BMF.
I haven't watched it. I'm gonna watch it next.
I know. If you see a fella in a fur coat, you knew what was up.
I seen some fellas in some fur coats in Dallas, and baby, I was like, I didn't have to ask what was up. They was packing money. They wouldn't know who. They didn't look good, but they could have been. They could have been an OG, you know, OG dope dealer, because you know they are. They be the people you least expect.
You attach that stereotype to
the fur coat. I'm telling you. And if they had the hat,
it works both ways.
And it wasn't even. It was only like 60 degrees. I was like, oh, we out like that tonight. So anyway, time out over. Okay, I just had to ask and, you know, just get clarification. So some ladies, if y'all like me, y'all wanted to know, because I didn't know that. I was today old.
Oh, to answer your question, no animals. Nah. Don't do that.
No animals. So ladies, if we wear animals, it is for us.
It is for you.
It is for us. It is definitely not for the guys. All
Yeah.
right. So
See,
anyway.
Look, Derek used to say, hey, I wore furs in the 80s. That's what I said the time period, Derek. That's what I'm telling about.
I need a picture, Derek. I need a picture, Derek. So anyway, so back to the documentary. We had a whole time out on that. I'm sorry.
You had to do that, right?
Yeah, I had to. Hey, I'm learning. I'm still young. And so back to the documentary filmmaking process. Tedious, hard, expensive. Tedious, hard, expensive. So let's start with, where do we want to start in the process, Michael?
I would say
let's start with
why.
There we go.
Why did you decide to produce a documentary film versus a narrative on your topic?
Well, I've always loved documentary film. I'm a big component. The 30 for 30s, growing up, I always I've watched every one of them. I got the ESPN Plus app. I go back and watch them. In college, I said, I'm going to make my own sports documentary film. And like I said, working in sports my entire career, I just felt like, it was the, I guess, best route to start. Okay. There's levels, and I've always wanted to do a feature film, wanted to do an extended piece, but I said, where can I get a good start and a good base to learn how to do this, in its entirety? So documentary film, I felt was a good base to start, and the fact that I, love documentary film, started studying how to put together one, I thought that was the best way to start to break into this industry.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Did we give a little bit of background of what Aaron does?
No, not yet, because we wanted to see. Hold on.
It's hard. This is a tough one because it all circles together.
I know, but the thing about me is, since I do write narrative films, I like the discovery instead of all the upfront dialogue, like we talk about with some stuff. So all the upfront dialogue.
The build up.
Thank you. So that's why I try not to start. That's why I try not to start at the very beginning.
I think we have to rise in action right now. Rise in action.
Rise in action.
Rise in action right now.
Thank you. See, it's the discovery. So, okay, Michael, since you brought it up, now we gotta look.
Well, no, we can make it suspense. We can foreshadow.
Now it's too late. You didn't.
The subtext.
They're gonna say you might well people. It's somebody in here right now telling me just say it. So you know how they be, at the movies. Just do it.
Derek said, man, doc is a long and tedious. Exactly. It is. And the people don't realize the documentary can be years in the production and producing and doing. It's not like a narrative, man. You can shoot a narrative. You can be playing a narrative for 3 or 4 months, 6 months, maybe a year tops, but, and that depends on if you got a lot of effects or anything, but like literally we could write a drama right now, start pre-planning, doing the pre-production and shoot it the next 2 months, edit for a month, a few, and it's ready. It's ready to be in a can. A documentary, you gather so much footage. Because I remember I did a documentary going to Haiti. And I have tons of footage. I have DVDs because I transferred them all to a DVD to keep the records. It's like this. And it's hours. So I can imagine how much footage you got, man.
Yeah, I said that I thought it was the easiest way. I didn't say I was right. So I thought it was the easy way to break in, but I learned, which we'll get into, how long, tedious this process is.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just to interject, there's only one film that I know of for sure that a narrative that actually covered years, and that was a 12-year span, Boyhood by Richard Linklater.
Okay.
Where he covered all of that footage and made it into a 2-hour and 43-minute film, 12 years of this boy's life. And it was the same child the whole time. So just to put that interest in tad bit tidbit.
12 years, right? Like you thinking like,
Where it
man.
was 12 years. He won. Yeah, he won. I think he won an Oscar for that one, did he?
Mm-hmm.
I think he won an Oscar. But anyway, but yeah, so when you said that once you were in it, by the way, I love 30 for 30 films. That is my favorite genre of documentary. I mean, filmmaking, period. When it comes to any genre of film, 30 for 30 or sports documentaries, that is my number one. I don't know why, but that is my number one. But while you were in the process, just to ask this really quick, were you thinking to yourself, I think maybe I should have done a short film?
Knowing me, I'm always the like on my movie poster, the slogan is "Shoot for the stars and land on the moon." So,
Okay, yeah.
being a former, I played sports in high school. When I realized everybody was growing and I didn't, I had to find a way to stay close to the game. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna be a filmmaker. I'm gonna cover it. I'm gonna stay close in that aspect. So the competitive nature in me was like, okay, I can do this. But there were times where I'm like, I'm in over my head. Like I didn't know that I had to do A, B, C, D, and there are no shortcuts. It's with documentary film, which we'll get into. There's the footage that I shot, the archival footage that was collected. Like there are no shortcuts to putting together an entire piece. And as the process went on, it was like one roadblock, and then okay, I fixed that one. Okay, then another roadblock, and it was yes, it was discouraging at times, but I had to keep it all together. Like I had everything together, which I shouldn't. Maybe I should have expressed and vented to some people about those things, but I just wanted to keep everything moving, keep the production team, have that confidence in me that look, we're gonna get it together. So it's almost done. I am happy with the product, and I'm just waiting to get it out to the world.
Yeah, it looks really good. And how long is it? I think, did you send us the whole thing that's 28 minutes?
This version is 28, but his new version is going to be in the 40, like 40.
Yeah, it's going to be about, so we'll talk about later, but there are different cuts. So as I started to shop my film around and look for distribution, some in broadcast, some in streaming sites, they wanted different lengths. So the cut that you guys viewed was for broadcast, and of course, the 30-minute mark was what they gave me. So that's why that is, on that 30-minute mark. But again, I'm pushing for the final to be about 42, which still makes it a documentary short. So it'll be in that 42-minute range.
Yeah, because that'll be 1 hour with commercials. So that would fit, because I think Maurice the Beast, I think his was an hour also on ESPN with commercials, so it was about the same length.
Yep. So that's what that 42 mark, because it'll give it that hour long, which is standard now. They want things, in that time frame is about an hour. So I learned that too. Like anything I do is documentary at least an hour, and then if it's an hour, think about episodes. Part 1, part 2, part 3. 4,
oh yeah, because that's the conversation we had the other night. We were talking about breaking it down and planning the structure, because you and I talked about intellectual property, because I'm big on that. And so in that, let's talk about the process before you filmed. Like, what was your writing process like? What was your planning process like?
Well, as we talked the other day, how this all came about, like I said, I've been working on this film back in college, 2012. So I knew I was going to do this. This was going to be my first film. Now, I didn't know the subject, Carl Montgomery, who's featured. I didn't know he was going to go off and do great things. Right. So I just banked on, this is what I'm going to do. And it just turned out to be great. I started shooting in 2015. I kind of use this as a project for one of my finals. I went to DePaul University in Chicago. So I started as I was taking, my journalism courses along with my film courses. I kind of use my projects as assignments. So kind of kill two birds with one stone, students out there.
That's good.
That's a life hack right there. So, and then it allowed me to utilize my professors to say, okay, is this script right? Is this right? Is this right? And then take those things on after graduation because I got a good base. So I was maximizing that college tuition that we paid for and all the resources that I had at the time. So I started shooting parts of the film in 2015. I don't want to give away too much of the film, but I also had the subject started, doing like video blogs of himself in 2012. So,
Okay.
there was a long process of tracking him throughout this, this journey. So, like I said, I had the vision back then to do this film. In July of 2020, I got a call from a network that I was waiting to hear back to say, hey, Aaron, what you got for us? So, like, I knew I had that project, but I it's not completed. Little pieces are done here and there. And they said, we're going to give you 6 months. So I'm like, okay, let's go. I didn't panic. It was COVID. So of course, I spoke to a lot of people. They were like, Aaron, do you think it's safe? How are you going to do this? They're stationed in Houston right now. How are you going to get back? I shot the film in Chicago. So where I'm from, my hometown. So, how are you going to get back and forth? During the time, flights were like $27. So money-wise, it wasn't bad. It was just the safety issues. So, I took it into consideration and I said, you know what? This is the dream. This is what I've been waiting for. I'm just going to pray and have faith that everything works out. And by the grace of God, no one got sick. No one tested positive for COVID throughout the time. That was a big concern throughout this entire process. So in July, like I said, I got the call. I quickly started to assemble my team. Everybody I worked with on this film are friends, associates, people that are inside the circle. Issa Rae, she said, network across.
Yeah.
So I took that to heart because I said, one, I don't have the budget to go out to, go get, polished or maybe veteran people. And plus I know a lot of people that I've met can get the job done. So, I just started assembling a team. Like I said, everybody on the film that I worked with the film received some type of compensation. As I was telling Michael, I did 7 internships in college. So I work for free. I know you want to get paid for your talents, and I wanted to be that director, that producer. Again, I started my production company with right before COVID, so it was like, I wanted to have a good reputation to say when you work with Aaron Lee, that he will take care of you. He's trustworthy, reliable, and that he's serious. So money talks. When you can offer someone like, hey, can you edit this project for, this is what my budget is, this is this. When you draw it out to them, it makes them more, susceptible to say, okay, I'm down, I'm ready to go, let's get started. So that's just the reputation I wanted to have. So August, I assembled a team. I started buying my flights. I started looking at locations. Again, the fact that it was COVID, I had to get, got to get permits to shoot at locations anyway. But a lot of the locations wanted me to sign waivers because they didn't want to be held responsible if any of us tested positive or got sick. So within that was extra money on top of trying to secure some of the locations. So then I had to get, the cast, the production team, we all had to sign these waivers. We had to get them sent back and reviewed. And that was a process in itself, just to protect.
Oh, he froze on us.
Okay. So again, I learned it on the fly. With a lot of it.
Oh yeah.
Wow. That, I mean, like you said, the main blessing in it, the two blessings, nobody got sick, and them $27 flights, during that time. But it was it was supposed to happen during that time because they called you.
Look, Southwest, I'm a big component of Southwest. I know they had some trouble recently, but Southwest was a lifesaver because I can get from Hobby Houston Airport to Midway real quick. And most of this, like I said, the entire film was shot on the south side of Chicago. So, Midway is right there where I can, just take Cicero on down, back to the south side. So it was quick. Again, when you're what I learned about budgets, gas, Ubers,
Yeah.
all of that goes into that. So
You don't
we
think about
try to,
that little thing on your big budget sheet. You be like,
yep,
where is
we
the
try to
gas
cut, we
money? Is
try
the
to cut
gas
down
money?
on
There's not a
costs.
line for gas money here.
I was like, should I rent a car to get in an Uber? Would it balance out? Well, how many locations do I have this day and that day? So again, I was learning within the process and blowing money
Yeah.
on top of that, because again, it was just something that I didn't prepare for. Just getting the call, unexpectedly.
Mm. Yeah, no, I totally understand that call, man. And then because you're like, what do you got? And then you gotta
It's
hustle.
hurry up and wait. Hurry up, hurry up.
Yeah.
And then once you get it in, they're like, okay, we'll get back to you in 7 years.
Right, right. I get it, I get it done. I submit it, and I'm on pins and needles every day. Like, okay, do they like it? And it was like, it was a lot of anxiety. I'm like, I haven't heard back. It's like when you get rejected from the girl, you like, man. So you deal with all those emotions within the process. But we started shooting. I will say this: we started shooting Labor Day weekend of 2020,
Okay.
and it worked out that we shot majority of the film that weekend. Everyone that was in the film, I made it. I kind of, put my production schedule together and hope that they were available, because we haven't revealed, but my day job is very demanding. So I knew within this weekend that this is all the time I will have allocated to shoot majority of the film. Yeah. So I made sure that they were available that Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We shot, and I flew back Sunday and was at work Sunday afternoon. So, hey,
what is your day job, Mr. Lee?
I am senior sports producer for a station here in Houston. So I have been a sports journalist my entire career. I was in Baton Rouge. I worked for NBC Fox previously as a sports anchor reporter. So again, it was always sports. So that's how I kind of got into this, and just my love of sports drew me into my passion to do film. Film was always my goal. I just felt like it may be a better route to start off in television, because again, I can get a entry level sports reporting opportunity, which I was able to do out of college. So it is a very competitive, hard thing to jump into, because if you look at it, these stations, they only have 2 to 3 guys in sports. But again, it was creating a strategy. Like I said, I did 7 internships, while I was in college. I worked for ESPN Chicago while I was getting my master's degree. So, I always surrounded myself within, the industry. So it made it easier to make those connections and network. And while I was getting the skills and education, all of those matter. It's about getting the skill set, but also networking helps you a lot.
Yeah. It's so interesting, because I was talking to my wife, and she felt like, they should pay for people for internships, because usually you're doing work. And they are teaching you, but you're doing some sort of work. And on regular jobs, people get trained and get paid while they're getting trained, and they still do work and they produce stuff. And I was like, yeah, because when I worked at the TV station, I was editing the video, putting the commercial, chopping it up to put the commercials in the middle of the movie and putting it back in. And I was writing scripts, and when I was doing my internship, they actually offered me a job to be a script writer for the station. And I was like, and how much was it? $8.50 an hour. And I was like, seriously? But you gotta remember, back then minimum wage was like $5.50 or a little $5 or something like that. So like $8.50 was something, it's crazy, but it's like,
I'm a big component for paying interns. I had 2 interns that worked on my film. Like I said, I did 7 internships, and 2 of them were paid.
okay.
$10 an hour. It wasn't that much, but it was something. But those 5. Yeah, those 5 that I did, the thing that they tell you, Aaron, you're gonna get the experience and the exposure. The experience is what's gonna pay you. And it's like when you're a broke college student, because I was paying my way through college. I got, I was on, academic scholarship, when I was in undergrad. But again, there are other expenses in college that you need, that you need to take care of. And it's like,
gas money, gas
money. All of that, I still got to eat.
Right.
So, and just like Michael said, they have you doing things that people that are on payroll doing. Like, and some of these days are 8-hour days, 9-hour days, especially in television and sports. Some of these games, I remember I was an intern at one station and the game went into extra innings. There were 18 innings. I didn't leave that place till 3 a.m. in the morning. I started
I think
at
we
1
all
p.m.
know that game. Don't we all know that game? That was it Los Angeles?
No, it was a Cubs game.
It
was the Cubs and Yankees, and it went into like 18
Cubs and
innings.
Yankees. Okay. I was trying to remember.
Yeah, it was a few years back. I don't want to date myself. I don't want to date myself either.
Look, baby, listen.
You say you young. I feel old. I've been through a lot. I feel old.
And it's interesting, but yeah, that those internships and that work that people put in, because like you can be on a set for 12 hours as an intern, and you go back, you got to go to class, and you're like, wait, I gotta be here now. I got class at whatever time. Like that's the internship.
Plus you gotta, a lot of interns, they run errands and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not paying me. You might be feeding me. You may be feeding me. But then, I'm doing all this work. I'm spending this gas money. I'm spending this time. And I leave and I'm still broke. So at least,
I got a funny story about running errands. So I was working at a station, I won't say, and we had a big guest on, and he wanted this bougie popcorn. That's the funny thing, bougie popcorn with an Arizona iced tea. Like, so you go from bougie popcorn to an Arizona iced tea. So again,
to 99-cent tea.
Yeah, so it's downtown Chicago. So I run across the street, to the store that was available, and it's like, they didn't give me any money to buy this stuff.
What?
Oh, man.
And it was like maybe like 20 minutes before he had to go, go on air. So I'm in the store looking at how much this popcorn costs. I'm like, $3.39. I'm glad he only wanted an Arizona iced tea. I got $5.
We got a $5 budget.
Yeah, so it's real out here as an intern. And as an intern, you want to be able to deliver whatever they ask you to do, whether it's write a script, whether it's edit, going to get coffee. You want to make yourself available and show that it doesn't matter where you put me at. I'm gonna be a team player, and that I'm ready to do this. I'm ready for this opportunity. So you wanted to come back and deliver. So I got his popcorn and the iced tea, and I'm like, yeah. Not knowing, like, man, that was my dinner right there. So
I hope I still got that pack of noodles from last week.
Yeah, I can't even get my 4 for $4. They got my 4 for $4 right there.
Was it Garrett's popcorn?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
He had a strict diet, so it was some bougie vegan type of popcorn that I never heard of. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
That's good. That's good that you want to set that reputation in your first film in regards to taking care of, everybody, including the interns, because one thing I talk about on this show, which I've mentioned several times, it's like, if I ask you to do anything for me, if I ask you for $1, to spend $1, or to a minute of your time to read or write something I wrote, minus what we just did there, because that was, so don't comment there. First time in my career, but it's good. We're good. But if I ask you, then I have a certain standard that when you come to me, I have, in that integrity. Like you said, this is my first project, and I want to have that reputation and that name that I'm actually, doing something good and making sure I'm taking care of my people. So kudos to you for doing that and already setting that standard coming into your first project.
Yeah, so, definitely.
What I learned out, another thing I learned, when you sometimes use friends and things like that, they always ask the friend discount, or give me the brother or sister discount, or even, the brother in Christ discount, and no, it's like, if you have a business, if you have a product, you should be paying what that product is worth. And I think even within, our community, sometimes we'll look, downplay and say, oh, that costs too much, or, I can't afford that. And it's like, well, we would go spend, money on Gucci, or, these other brands and things like that. So that's another thing that I wanted to make sure that, I compensated them to, what we could agree on, what was within budget, and they felt that they were appreciated throughout the process.
Yeah, and I give back in other ways. I think that filmmakers have to understand that we should be finding ways to help each other, and because if you don't have the money, that's okay to an extent, because you always find the money somewhere, somehow you'll find it. But you can negotiate things. You can, support people on their behalf. If somebody, that's the thing, is having that open door to support one another and share things that will help them. But we got to remember who's helping us, and then we got to remember to help them. It's like if it's a constant 360 of support, this industry would grow. We as independent filmmakers, we would maintain ownership of our work. We would grow an industry, and we would probably want for nothing and be able to open doors for a lot of our young people coming up and build that legacy.
And that's the biggest thing I learned. Like, you can't do it by yourself. Mm-hmm. As much as you try, you need a team, you need a network. You want to, as an indie filmmaker, you think that you're all on your own because you're independent. No, there are resources and people out there willing to help. You just have to ask, and put it out there. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard being vulnerable in that moment. Like, hey, this is what I need. Can you help me? This is what I can offer. It's being transparent and honest with people. That's what worked for me throughout this process.
Yeah, because you and we talked back in 2020 in July. We had.
Yeah, I talked to you right after I got the call. Like, I reached out right right after I got that call.
And so that's the thing, man. And we're glad we could talk and support and stuff. But okay, now you got the call. You put the paperwork in. You got the things moving. What was the filming time and days like for you?
I was exhausted. I literally got off the plane. I got off the plane that Thursday, and back in September, and my first shoot was like an hour and a half later. So, of course, I got family back there, so I went to go drop off all my bags. I had all my equipment. I'm just in the airport, just with all my stuff, just running because I'm thinking I'm gonna be late because my first shoot was like, I want to say 1 p.m. So, and it was all the way, and it was in the South Shore neighborhood, so that's kind of east Chicago. So just trying to get from Midway all the way over there. So it was very. I tried to keep everything, strategic as far as, okay, you guys meet me here, keeping in contact with my cinematographer, see my interns, everybody that was, on board. So, I couldn't be late. I had to make sure I'm on time. So, I would say the toughest day was that Saturday, that weekend, because that's where I shot majority of the interviews.
Okay.
So to save on money, we shot majority of the film, which you guys were able to check it out, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes.
So you saw the interview, all the interviewees. We were in the Calumet Park Rec Center.
Okay.
So what we did was if you look at it, we just flipped, for each person, we just flipped locations and flipped, where we were at within the rec. Within the rec center, so it wouldn't look alike. So when we got to the high school section, I don't know if you guys noticed, he attended Shepherd High School, so we had they had a Shepherd in the background. I don't know if you guys noticed that little nugget, but there's the Shepherd logo back there. And when we talked about his grade school, Calumet, there's the Bulldogs, and so we just flipped it to what, the stage of his life where we were talking about. So go back and watch that, because that was strategic.
So yeah, okay. That's another thing though. But that's good you're saying that, because every shot was strategic, and you put things in the background. And a lot of us, let's just be real, when you're coming out as a filmmaker for the first time, you're not thinking of how strategic everything in your setting And then definitely not in a documentary where you're interviewing people of how the room's going to look and what you're going to put there to connect our mind, whether it's subconsciously or consciously, to what's going on, what's being talked about.
I knew I couldn't afford another location and I didn't want everything to look the same. So I said, how can I utilize when I scoped out the place? You know, I used to play ball there too. So I
Okay.
knew that they had those, you know, banners up. So I said, hey, when we get to this portion of his life, we can set this up, flip this, that, you know, we can get a tighter shot. I could bring my B cam in here. So, you know, and, you know, it was just, you know, just strategically putting it together. Like, how can I make this look different from the next interviewee to the next shot, to the next shot, to the next shot. So I did, you know, as you can see, we did several teammates. We did, you know, his coaches. We did his mom. I did all those interviews in one day. It was probably like 9 hours.
Wow.
You did whoa. You did all of those interviews in one day?
Because where was his mom? Because I thought his mom was at home. Maybe I missed something.
His mom, yeah. So his mom. So again, that straight shot, you know, that was, we're at center court.
Okay. Again, never mind. Yeah. It's the lighting too. The lighting,
wow. Because the lighting and stuff made it look like it was in.
Yes.
Because the other ones you can tell you were on a court.
I'm glad y'all caught that. That was strategic.
Yes, that was good.
I was like, wait, because I thought you shot at her house or something because the chair and all that stuff. It didn't match everything. So, okay.
Yes. So
it was just the lighting getting rid of the background.
Moving around furniture and lighting, all of that takes time, you know, to reset. And then again, just making sure, like, I've worked with, you know, we all Black here. You have to light Black people a certain way so we can look great. If you look at Simone's Bow's recent cover, right, like you know, you have to light us a certain way for us to look right. And I wanted it to be high quality. So as far as the equipment we rented, the lighting we rented, you know, I wanted to make sure that everything looked tip top and that no one can say this was, you know, not the best film that, that I could possibly do. So yeah, so that took time with setting it up and, and making sure things look different, making, we couldn't do it at her home because she wasn't, his mom wasn't comfortable with all of us coming in with COVID, going on.
I totally understand that.
Well, yeah, so I'm like, okay, how could we do this? Again, I'm social distancing, so I'm sitting far away as I'm interviewing them. I hope you guys couldn't tell that, but yeah, just trying to communicate. I had all my points, my nuggets, my bullets, my questions, strategically, because I knew I had at least 15 to 30 minutes with each person because I had them coming in. This is a Saturday afternoon, Labor Day weekend. People want to go barbecue, want to go have fun. And, I'm glad that they were able to come in and knock it out. So I knew on my end, I had to have everything ready so we would, keep them or hold them up. And, some of them brought their kids. I'm like, quiet on the set, please.
And they like, Mama, I got to pee.
You was like, hey, you bring kids, but listen.
Let me tell you a funny story. So the day I booked the Calumet Park Rec Center. Shout out to them. Thank you so much. They had another event going on that day. They had a food drive. They double booked. So you could hear trucks backing up. They were dropping off pallets of food. So I had to stop in between some of the, which held us up a little bit because it was so loud because they had multiple trucks dropping off bulk loads of food. So again, I'm like, okay, how can I do this? So I said during that time, we would shut up for the next shoot, like the next, so I said, hey, you stay right there. Okay, let's go shoot. Let's go set up for the next one. And let's utilize the time. Like,
that's good.
You know in filming, nothing ever goes to a T, and you have to be able to adjust
Murphy's
on the
Law. Murphy's Law. They expect it, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, we can use this time to do that. We can use this time to do that. Okay, truck stop. Let's go. Action.
Okay, everybody back.
Yep.
That is funny. I mean, no, kudos to you for the quality. Yeah. When I seen it, because it, like I said, I love 30 for 30 in sports documentaries. So when I seen the quality, it literally, I wasn't expecting it, nothing less. When I watch a film, I'm already expecting it to be up to standard. But I was just like, yes, this film is up. It looks like when it looks like a 30 for 30 or ESPN film. It looks exactly like the quality was amazing.
Yeah,
so the quality was good. The lighting, the shots,
animation, use of
the
animation, right?
Yeah, that was a nice surprise.
Yeah, it was, and then of course we're gonna let's get into that because you done shot, you done interviewed all your people. Now you're editing, and you got to put in the B-roll, the footage to go along to help create and mold this story process. How did you pick? What were you doing? How did you select what you were doing? How did you get the people to do the things you needed with the animation? And we know you're using some clips from the NBA, and you got a process, and yet you're learning about that you can share. Go ahead, got it.
So, like I said, the film is called Dream Chaser. You guys can go check out the trailer on my social media, Aaron T. Lee 13. Check that out. So during this process, like I said, I knew that within my film, you can see a small portion of it that we talk about the history of Chicago basketball. So with all my films, I wanted to be more than sports. I wanted it to be a human interest sports story. So not only do we talk about the history of Chicago basketball, we talk about a big issue in Chicago, which is gun violence. I shot this film during COVID, so we talked a little bit about COVID within that film, education. There were several things that we within the film. So I kind of mapped that out, as I was shooting, like, okay, I'm going to ask him about, Derrick Rose. I'm going to ask him about, Dwayne Wade, and we're going to talk. So, I kind of knew what I needed. So I was searching for the B-roll, as I was putting together, my script, my questions, the things that I wanted to ask, my interviewees. So as I learned, which we're going to get into how much that stuff costs after the fact, but I knew up front that is what I wanted to put in the film. So as I'm with my editor, I'm sending her clips, I'm getting clips here. I'm like, hey, we got to put this here, we got to put this here, we got to put this here. And like I said, the mistake that I made, that we spoke about, Michael, was I should have looked how much these clips cost ahead of time.
Yeah.
Instead of putting them in and getting married to those clips. Because again, there are several cuts to this film where there was stuff that I couldn't afford or I couldn't get clearance for that I had to swap out. So within that, like I have B-roll right now that I knew, okay, if I couldn't get this clip, I can put this in there. So that was always in the back of my mind.
Right.
But I put all my eggs in one basket and said, all right, it's going to work out. And again, nothing always works out according to the original plan. So that was probably, that's the biggest challenge. A challenge I'm still dealing with right now is clearing all the rights to archive video that I did not shoot or own. It's a long, tedious process working with big entities like the NBA. And then also there were highlights from his overseas career and just the language barrier. We speak different languages and trying to get a hold of people. That has been tough. The time difference is like they'll respond to me at like 4 a.m. or and then I'll respond to them and it's 2 a.m. over there. So that has been a challenge. My relationship with my editor is great because we're always thinking, okay, if this doesn't work, what can we put here and still get that same dramatic effect, or where we don't lose the quality or we don't lose the story. So again, you always got to have a contingency plan. What's that movie? Plan B is enforcing plan A, right now. But again, my plan C is still, I still got a plan C. I have to swap out some things, but I'm still trying to get those things cleared, and I hope to hear back from those people and in the next few weeks. One thing that did help me, what I will mention about the NBA video. So I couldn't do a film about Chicago basketball and not talk about the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan.
Right.
Like that signature. Like, you know, Michael, I hope you understand why when we had that conversation, why those clips are needed.
No, I feel you. I totally understand. I was just like, man, like you know, and again, like we talked about it. At least you're not dealing with the NFL. Right.
That's worse.
They're worse than the NBA.
Yeah.
The NFL is the number one sport. You know, it's you know, the biggest entity of all. They're international. Wow. You know, they play over in London. So you know, Roger Goodell, you know, makes billions of dollars. So as the little man or the indie filmmaker, I guess he, you know, he probably could care less about, you know, a film that I would, you know, try to do football wise. So my favorite
it's hard for some of the big films to get NFL sometimes.
Yes,
I think Any Given Sunday was one of them.
I was about to say that's why they had to make up team names, because the NFL will not let you use their brand or their names if you know, if you don't have the money or the consent, or, you know, go through that process. You'll see made up names and made up players, and, you know.
Yeah, I actually wrote a football film. I think it was my third feature. And I wrote it, I literally wrote it just because I wanted to see, you know, the Black men in a positive light, which one of the things in your film, like I said, it was amazing. You did an amazing job on this film. One of the things you
my cinematographers. My cinematographers are great.
Yes,
both of their names are John Klein. You know, my other John, like they John and John. Them guys are great. They, man, hats off to them. Without them, none of that was possible. Because as you're about to explain, the lighting, the things that they put together was amazing.
Yes, they did. They did a very amazing job. But one of the things, when you said you had to go into the Chicago culture a little bit, I appreciated, one of the things I really appreciated that was not about the actual story itself, but when you said, when someone, well, I think it might have been you that said it, that some people think that when they step off the plane in Chicago, because of what the media has portrayed about it, is that they think they're going to basically just get shot when they step off the plane. And I was like,
oh yeah, because the guy in the barbershop was breaking it down. Like, we regular people looking at regular jobs, we got aspirations, things we trying to do. And that's the thing when it comes to our films. When someone else is making it, they want to tell the hardship that we go through. That's not a massive thing. It's a small group, like any other group. Everybody's like, oh, we haven't talked about black on black crime. You don't hear white on white crime. 83% of the crimes in white neighborhoods are done by white people. 85% of crimes in black neighborhoods are done by black people. Why? Because it's about proximity. And it's good that in that film it states that, because people aren't thinking like that. We're trapped in this. The media tells our story versus us telling our story so we can get the truth out.
Yes.
That quote that sticks out is Evan F. Moore, who's a journalist. He's a former journalist for the Sun-Times. Now he is the press secretary for CPS. He has moved on throughout this process, but he said one of the quotes that stuck out. He said, when people say, hey, what about Chicago? What they're really saying is, what about black people?
Right.
You know, like, and that was
wow.
I made sure I put that in there, because I was like, that again, when we talk about other crimes, they're always, what about the gun violence in Chicago? They're not talking about the north side. They're not talking about downtown. They're talking about the south and west sides of Chicago and black people. Yeah. So, and I wanted to make that known, that again, look, people looking from the outside in, that it is not so cut and dry as you guys think. There are underlying issues to why our communities are facing this, and that's not to give the black on black crime a pass, because that is an issue too. But there are issues, there are lack of resources there. Who's talking about the guns and the drugs that are being put in these neighborhoods? How are 15-year-old kids getting AKs? They haven't even left the city. How are they getting army weapons in their communities? Someone is putting it there. This is by design. It's a bigger issue and broader issue that no one ever talks about.
Yeah, and they want to tell our story of overcoming those odds, but who created those odds? Exactly. We don't. We ain't diving into that.
Who created those odds? If you pay black women the same that you pay white men, which is a 38% pay gap,
Mm-hmm.
then we wouldn't have to be living in certain areas all clumped in together. We can live amongst everybody else and put our kids in well diverse where we're not set up. I seen in January, I seen a documentary about Chicago and how the projects were created, and about how the price, with the husband living in the home, the price was way higher than just the women and her kids. So a
Right.
lot of the husbands left the homes so that the women and kids could be able to afford to live there. But it was strategically done to drive the men out.
By
Divide the
design,
family.
break
Divide the
up
family.
families,
Let
broken
me
homes.
tell you, I'm like this. Of course, and they document and showing you the laws and showing you everything as they're showing through out the documentary. They're showing you the flyer and how much the price was for the men to live there. They were showing everything, so you knew it was true because they were showing you everything. I'm like,
Oh yeah, the way the welfare system
I don't think they
ran,
made that up.
the way the welfare system ran prior to, and this is the 60s and 70s, when they came to your house and walked through your home and see if you just got an iron and docked you money to support you. And like that, and that was real. That my mom was like, I will never, because her mother, things like that. But we, historically, this is how they controlled us. And like, if you take what your documentary and you look at things like A Good Times, like Claudine, right? The movie Claudine with Diane Carroll and James Earl Jones. So y'all got to go watch that, because that talks about the welfare system and the way the system's set up and impacts us. And it's a story. This is a story. He didn't make it in the NBA where we typically aim for, but he made it living his dream.
Yes. And it was better than the NBA because he got to experience so much more than he would have in the NBA. That, like, at the end, when it talks about what he did experience in that rich culture and the traveling to these different countries. So when he's coming back and speaking to the kids, he's speaking to them about different cultures. Not, I'm in the NBA, I bought my mom a house, great. But he's actually having a well-rounded experience as a young man. Starting out in life, because he was just coming out of college, and he got this. So he's still in his 20s. So he got this well-rounded experience
while he was helping others. That was the other thing you get to see, is him helping others, helping the youth in the community. And the youth wasn't limited. Like, it was diverse youth.
And that's what I wanted to highlight was he didn't wait till he made it to pay it forward. People usually wait till they make it and say, okay, I'll give back when I'm a superstar. No, he was doing that throughout the entire process. When he would come back, summer camps, and, he didn't wait till he became the big professional star, over there. He was, look, I'm going to pay it forward throughout the process. So that was one thing I wanted to highlight, throughout the film, that he continuously gave back to Chicago. He chose to stay in Chicago and go to Chicago State when he had other opportunities. That was another thing, that you don't have to always go to the Dukes or, go to the Syracuse.
Yes, that was good too. I'm glad that was highlighted. Yes, that was really good. That was really good. I know we're reading a comment. I'll read it out loud. I'm currently working on it.
I'll post it.
Go ahead. Well, shoot, you still got to read it.
I know. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm currently, I don't know where you're going to put that thing. Sky says, I'm currently working on a documentary about my recent cancer journey. I filmed pretty much everything from my perspective, the highs and the lows of it all. I couldn't find this when I got diagnosed, so I made it for others. But I'm not sure how to choose the team that's going to help me tell it from a Black woman's perspective. This type of cancer hits women of color differently. We usually don't find it until it's too late. I almost died about 10 times in the last 2 years, but amen, I beat it. Amen. It has to be us telling this story. I managed to stay on the air at Sirius XM while I was sick, but not much else. Wow.
Wow, yeah. So, and it sounds like, Sky, you're looking for a team to help film your story.
Well, it's already filmed from her.
It's already filmed? Okay.
Yeah, she said, I pretty much filmed everything from my perspective. So what she needs is a team to go in to help her add in maybe some B-roll
The
and,
B-roll and the
and
extra
a
footage
marketing,
and stuff.
a marketing strategy.
Yeah. And it's funny. You got to have help people to help put it together, her editors and stuff like that. Okay. Yeah, and then this is a great place to be at because on the lounge you see all these people like Jacoby and Derek and Aaron here and so all of us we have insight to stuff and of course TK. So T can flesh out those things and because one of the things says where are you located? Where's who located?
Hey, Michael,
There you go, because you got Tanya. See? Mentee's reaching out. There we go. Pay it forward.
Hey, Michael, let me say one thing real quick. So with my story, as you guys saw, it was, it's a story about us.
Right.
And I will say, my editor is not black. She's white. So that did not, even though I knew the story was about us, the community, like I said, our relationship that I have with my editor, I laid down some of the things that I wanted this film to portray. So you don't have to always, if, I know that the cultural difference or, you want to keep it, all black or, whatever decision you decide, that's great. I just felt that she could do the job and, we worked together on those cultural differences. We had discussions, why do we need this in there? I said, look, from a black perspective, we need this in there, and it's, again, as a director, you have that control. And again, there were ideas that she came up with that I'm like, okay, that works great too. So having, a different perspective, because again, she was somebody looking from the outside in, like, okay, now I see the impact. Or for me, I don't understand this, Aaron, you have to make this, broad for everyone, not just black people,
Right.
Other people that's watching it. So it helped me to look at things differently because again, sometimes we assume, like, okay, everybody should know what this is, or, this is cut and dry. No, she was like, Aaron, you have to explain this and, explain this because, everyone doesn't, go through this type of struggle. Everyone doesn't, go through these types of things. So
not in their
community. So she was able to back you out of you to show you what the outside is looking at the same time.
Exactly, because I'm like,
okay,
man, everyone knows about the projects, and I'm like, well, if you didn't live in the projects, you don't know about the project. So again, it was I grew up in those areas, so it's just second nature to me. But for someone who didn't, okay, Aaron, we have to express, and show, and don't make it, dramatize or what they call trauma porn. Make we can do it tastefully, we can do it, with class. And again, there were certain things that she showed me, like, I wouldn't understand this if I'm watching this as a viewer. How can we convey this to the masses? Good. So again,
so
it's
she
like,
actually helped not being black.
Yes, tremendously. Allie, her name's Allie. Shout out to Allie. She's helped me, see things from a different light. She's a mother as well. So even capturing the relationship between Carl, Mary, his mom, and Carl, she was able to bring that together as a mom. Like, okay, we got to show that bond and that connection throughout the film. I did in little sections. She said throughout the film, you see how vital they were for each other and how they helped each other.
And his dad, like, that's the thing. Like, oftentimes you hear about people in sports and it's a mother, son, child thing. And because society paints dads are not there, and how influential his dad was.
Oh, that was a big point I wanted to show, because again, we look at all these NBA players that get drafted and you always see his mama,
and his girlfriend.
That too. So the fact that his father was actively in his life at every game, he expressed, I wanted to show that, there are some dads out there within our community that are supporting their kids, and because that narrative, needs to be eliminated, because it's not accurate. So that was one of the other themes that I wanted to show within this film.
Yeah. So now you made the film, you edited it. Let's talk real quick animation. What made you go the route of animation?
So as I was learning how much this video cost, as we talked the other night, now you're making business decisions like, okay, we can cut this video out. We don't need this. And as you guys know, the player the animation was about, I'm like, he's a known NBA player, but not big enough for me to, that I'm going to pay this money for. So how can I recreate it and save on costs. And then also, like, you mentioned, the other night, I didn't even think about it. It can attract children. Like, that wasn't even my initial,
Wow,
goal.
yeah.
It was just like, how can I recreate this and, do something different, but not make it cheesy or anything like that. And I said, well, I can do the animation. So, like I said, you pointed at the children thing, and I'm like, man, that's a double bonus.
Because it's about marketing, man. It's finding your market. And when one thing doesn't work out the way you want it, and if that's what you want to discuss some of that, we're never going to mention names, but one thing doesn't work the way you want it, you always have to think about what other direction can I go in that's going to be beneficial to me. And so when you look at, I always told, like I told you, I talk to a lot of filmmakers, and always that middle school kids are overlooked when it comes to film, especially in our community. That ain't for high school a little bit, because, high school kids will watch stuff like Above the Rim, because that's what I was watching. That's what we watched, and certain movies like Juice and all that stuff. Yeah, you get that. We saw, when I was in high school, we saw House Party. You know what I mean? And so we're not missed, because that attracts us. But then when I think about it, we go down. We got stuff for little kids. And TK and I talk about this all the time. There's nothing for that middle school group, that 12
Nothing
to 13.
For the preteens.
Yeah, 11, 12 to 13. 12. Yeah.
I'm trying. I got two. I'm trying.
And so, and these are the kids, as a teacher, when they come in the classroom, I want to be a basketball player. I want to do this. And if they don't see it, or they don't see because I just told my students why education is so important. And it was so funny, because we get into this, because I have kids who come in class. You got your work? I ain't got my work. Well, dude, we've been working on this since first quarter. What's up? And they're like, oh, Mr. Melvin, I don't know. And I'm like, what you mean you don't know? I said, I teach my students, education, knowledge is wealth. If you don't have knowledge, you can get money, but if you don't have knowledge and education, you can lose money. And it's not just, I'm not telling them, it's not the four walls. It's not a school building that's education. Education is learning information and how to apply it within your life. So you got to read books. You got to surround yourself with people who know what you don't know. You got to do these things. And you got to want to learn. You can't, and you don't want just the answers. You got to learn how to research, because a lot of people, I can do the research for you. But when I walk away, you don't know what to do, because I did the work. And that's what hurts our youth. But when they can see aspiration, when they can go, I know this now, media, we are so important to the community. So when a kid sees it, they're like, oh, hold on. Because when I said that education and knowledge is wealth, I had a young lady come at the end of my class. She said, what's your podcast so I can watch it? Because I like what you just said. It's like, okay. Wait, what? I said, it's the Black Filmmakers Lounge on Facebook. But she's like, yeah, because I agree. Because you can't have it. I can give you everything in the world, but if you don't know how to use it, how to apply it, it won't mean nothing at the end. And so when we educate ourselves and empower ourselves, and we have that knowledge. And so when a film like yours is playing at a middle school and the kid goes, I never really thought about overseas basketball. Oh, I never thought about working at a clinic. Because my niece, she is a coach. She went to school for teaching, but she teaches swimming. That's her job, but she loves swimming. That's her thing. And so I don't know a lot of black swimmers, outside my niece, since she was growing up, seeing her swim.
And,
you know what I mean? But those stories, but how many other kids thought, I might like swimming, but then we go, oh, black people don't do that. What do you mean we don't do that? Or I like hockey. Black people don't play hockey. When I was a kid, I played hockey. You know, like
or lacrosse.
Yeah, I didn't play crap, but I played. So it's like people don't think about those things, and if we expose them like you're doing to that information in a way that they can get it, and then because your distribution channel can change, because schools pay money.
Oh, Ooh, that's good.
You know, yeah, because I was like,
initially, like that, like I said, I don't know if you see in the beginning how we briefly hit that NBA a bust, NBA a bust, and then we brought it back in the end and had a whole section about talking about that. So it was, letting kids see that there's other options to quote unquote making it outside of professional, and you don't have to always, look at the NFL or the NBA or MLB. So my film was geared toward the youth as well, but you brought out some things even more that I could tailor to like you said, middle schools that I didn't even think about initially in the process.
Yeah,
and those schools, like you said, those schools pay.
I had TK come. I said, hey, TK, do me a favor, come teach script writing just one day. She came out. Another person I had, Yaki Smith, came, talked about filmmaking, because I was working at the school that was his alma mater anyway, and he came out. And so it's very important that we start looking, because here's the thing, that's our legacy. Like, I got parents telling kids there's no money in what we do. And I'm like, what you talking about? We run everything. Like, media is everything. There's money in this. We just need to know how to tap into it. And we just need to get trained in it. But there's money in it. I'm not going to tell you that. Because your daughter can make the best film. And so it's not even, she don't need an Oscar. That's the mistake that we make. We need an Oscar. No, there's a tons of people. Listen, I know, but for lack of, Tyler Perry don't have an Oscar, but he's a billionaire. I just need people to think differently. But we got it. We run this. So we need his legacies. We need to bring them up. And by showing them, because I was going to ask you, and I'm just telling you, we can talk about it later, but I was going to be like, hey, you want me to show your film? I got to comb it for the right words. But I got to watch it again. Make sure there's not any choice words. But you want me to show it to my students and give a feedback. And then maybe we can have you chime in on a Zoom, man, to talk to them and talk about that process.
We could possibly talk about that.
So we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. Like, again, a lot of people, like I said, have asked, how, outside of shopping into the networks and streaming sites, how, what is the strategies of, getting it out there. One of the biggest things is his college, Chicago State, has reached out to possibly do a private screening. My colleges that I went to said, hey, Aaron, come back and we'll host a private screening. And, I talked to people who said this is a way that you can also put the film out there, but also make a little money back.
Right.
Yes.
So within the process. So again, learning throughout this process of not only thinking of the A, B, and C, the other avenues to not only market your film, but, also, make some money within the process. I'm still learning, as
it goes back to your motto. This whole thing goes back to your motto. Shooting for the stars, but landing on the moon. Mm-hmm. It goes right back to your motto. Think about it. What we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Look at that call
Definitely.
Yes, that is awesome. Man. Sky, shoot me your information, please, so I can. I may have a connect. I'll check with the connect. So shoot me your information, please, about the document. So I can request the sizzle from you. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You can also reach out to me on Twitter, Instagram, Aaron T. Lee 13. So shoot me a DM. We can talk. If I have any resources.
And you can.
I'm more than willing to help.
Yeah, I can be reached at Michael E. Melvin 8 at Instagram. And I'm on Facebook too, as you guys can see. But you can hit us up, Black Filmmakers Lounge. We talk. And definitely in the comments, because join the Black Filmmakers community. I try to push everybody in the community about networking with each other and building those relationships that you offer as much as you take. You're going to offer something and get something. It needs to be a trade. It needs to be consistent, going back and forth with each other, because that's how you build. One person can't just lay bricks. Somebody gotta, help put down the foundation, and somebody got to do the plumbing, and somebody got to do the electrical and all that in order to have the building. So there's work that everybody can put in, and many hands make light work. So I want y'all thinking about it. All right, My man, Aaron, thank you very much, man. We appreciate you
Thank you
coming
so
on,
much for your
talking
time.
about this, man. We definitely got to bring you back talking about the aftermath, the next steps.
Yeah.
and
One
stuff.
thing we didn't get into is ownership. That's one of the biggest things I've
Ownership.
learned.
Yes.
I learned throughout this process was ownership that I will take with me, you know, wherever I go.
Oh yeah, because we talked about that all night, man. We were talking about ownership, and it's so important. I'm a man of ownership. Like I tell filmmakers, my perspective is always ownership. So it may not gel with everybody because somebody else is, you know, they're going to Hollywood. They want to be with Hollywood, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That if that is your choice of journey, I will never down that. But if you say, I ain't gonna take a deal because I want to keep, this is my baby right here, I'm be like, yeah, you don't have to give it up because content is king. Stop letting people, it's so funny, but we have to think a little differently. If content is king, that means everybody needs content. It's not that you need them. And I told TK, I told my people, I've had people reach out to me for my web series, my feature and stuff, and they'll be like, well, I can run it in my thing and I'll pay you. I said, no, you want to pay up front. And they'll be like, well, man, and I had to tell them, I said, nothing personal. I put so much money to make the stuff I make. So you to pay me on the tail end and give me nothing up front, I won't ever do that. It's different if you negotiated something up front and then something that's different. But when you tell me I can't give you anything, I'm just going to run your stuff. You're trying to build an audience off my work and other people's work. That ain't going to happen. Not for me. Because I know I can put my stuff out there. If you talking about free, I can put it out there myself. And I've done that. I don't have a problem with it. If I'm going to go free, I'm going to put it out. Not you. It ain't going to happen like that. You know, that's the case.
I totally agree. I'm an adjunct professor as well, and I used to tell my students teaching journalism, you know, which I agree. They say it's no money in journalism, and no. I give them this example all the time. I said we look at Stephen A. Smith, who went to an HBCU, didn't go to one of the big schools. He went to an HBCU, and now it's reportedly he's making $10 million a year from ESPN.
Woo!
So you can make that money. You can make that money. Robin Roberts, about $25 million a year from Good Morning America. Okay. You can make that money, you know. So one of the biggest things, what I tell them though, within that, if Stephen A. Smith is getting paid $10 million a year, what do you think ESPN is getting back on that return?
That's the thing we don't think about. What they get back.
Yeah, he's making $10 million, but they're making triple, quadruple, double off of what they're offering him. So again, learning that with my film is, hey, we want to offer you this, and it's like, but what are you guys gonna make on the back end? I want some of that back end money as well. Yeah. And it's not to be stingy or cocky or anything. It's that, again, like you said, you have a product. This is my baby. I funded this entire project out of my own pocket under my company. Like this, I put blood, sweat, and tears in this thing. So I'm not just gonna take it, give it out, for what I call nickels and dimes or pennies.
Right.
And I'm gonna be reasonable because I'm not Spike Lee. However, we're gonna have a agreement where we're both benefiting off of this.
And especially if we've all done our research, we can know what people are paying for stuff when they're paying. And I'm not talking about high end. I'm just talking about sometimes they try to even lowball us even more when they pay somebody else who's on the same level as you, don't look like you, and they go, oh, what was your budget? Okay, we'll give you that in double. And then you're like, oh, well, you made it already? Okay, we'll give you 10 grand. Wait, I spent 30. I spent 30, bruh. Well, and they want the 10 grand with total rights. There's no way I'd give you total rights of anything if I spent 30 to make it and you offer me 10 grand. That ain't happening.
Nobody doing that.
And all you get is the credit of you are the director, the producer, and that little small check, and then you see them, the residuals, they just cash it in.
Yeah. And they know it. Okay. They know that once they attach their name to your stuff, it helps it. But the problem is they didn't make it. And so they're doing is putting their name on it. That's like me running in a store, taking a really nice shirt, cutting the name off of it because it was cheap, adding my name, and then put it on a thing and be like, because it's a Michael Melvin, it's going to make money.
Well, what's the shirt made out of? I don't know. But did you see the name on it?
That is an accurate analogy. That's
That was
perfect.
good.
That's perfect.
So but as we get to wrap up, we usually end the show with this 60-second jewel. So TK, look at me. I haven't thought about my 60-second jewel yet.
Yeah.
She's supposed to write hers at the beginning of the week. Now,
No. My jewel happened. My jewel happened. So I think I'm good this week. My jewel happened. My gym, not jewel.
The gym.
Jewel gym. It happened. So I got a good, valuable lesson out of that.
So, Aaron, since you are the guest, if you could leave, it doesn't have to be a full 60 seconds, but if it is, it's great. What 60-second, what gem would you like to leave the audience with to hold on to?
I hope everyone that has watched this can see that you guys can do it. I didn't have the big budget. I didn't have the production team at the time, but again, the being persistent, consistent, and the belief. Sometimes we are our worst enemies. We are our worst critics. We hold ourselves back from actually putting together a project. It is scary because we think about, sometimes we think about why not, and why, I think of why not me, So we that hope, having that hope, even when things turn out to be bad, like I said, locations and double book, and still having that hope and faith and belief in your project and belief in yourself that you can put it together. So everyone that's watching that has that idea for a script, start one page a day, or one character a day, or start in baby steps, because that's how I did throughout this process was start. That's the biggest things is starting, because it's scary once you start, because now you got to see it through. Or when people are dependent on you, now you have to see it through because there's a plan already in place. So I hope that you guys see through me that you guys can put out your own work with no money, no budget, and again, I would hope you would find those things ahead of time, but you can do it if you find a way. So I guess that's my gem.
Oh man, amen. Thank you, man. Thank you. TK.
Oh, mine. Sorry, I've been brainstorming half this time. I did figure out that scene I was having a problem with. Bam, got to figure it out. So sorry, that's how my mind works. But my gem would be in regards to the outline. Instead of taking it, like I said, I got that outline, and I lost writing time only because I didn't take the time to go ahead and have a meeting with the creator to talk to them about the turning points and the plot points, and actually laying out a screenplay outline with them and the scenes, versus just trying to take something and make it myself, try to carve something out of it. And so that was the biggest gem for me. And this deep in my career, you think, oh, that wouldn't be, but I had to do what I thought was best, and plus on an independent budget. So that was the mistake I made this week, but it cost me a week of writing time, which for some people is like a week, but for some of this is how I make a living, is my writing. So a week of writing time is, a lot of time, but it's all good. So anyway, that would be my gem, is to not, if you don't try to lay it out with the client first, or the person first who's hiring you, and then do the step by step of what they may want, and talk to them about the training points, versus trying to do it yourself, and then on the end finding out, that didn't work, and losing that time. So communicate with your client.
Communicate with your client. Y'all have some good jewels, man. I got to remember all those, because I'm telling you, I don't have to rewind this show to listen to what Aaron just said and listen to what TK said, because my jewel is simple. I'm going to borrow my jewel from Aaron a little bit. Well, no, I mean, in a sense, because I lost my train of thought for a second anyway. But surround yourself with people who can help you get better perspective on your works. That's what I'm taking from Aaron, because just because somebody looks different or is different, or you might make a movie about men, but having a woman editor or writer on your staff may help you get perspective so that women can understand the story you're trying to tell. See, we often miss that. We go, well, you all understand, we got to tell you from our perspective. But it's like it helps us see how other eyes see it, how other emotions will experience it. Because we know us and we kind of know the realm or culture with the subcultures in which we're in. And sometimes we're trying to reach a larger mass of people, and we need to find perspective on how to do that. So having those people on your team to support that and give you perspective, because we don't know it all. We don't know everything. And once we understand that we don't know everything, we can learn a lot.
Yes.
Once we say that I don't know everything, I'm always gonna learn. I will sit in a room and take notes. Where? Okay.
Okay.
Because I know I'm gonna absorb as much as I can, and then after we've absorbed, after we've learned, we need to bring it back to our community and build it and give it to our legacies coming up and inspire them. So that is my jewel for today. And remember, with the Black Filmmakers Lounge, be strategic, intentional, and authentic, because that's what we're about. So we appreciate each and every one of you for joining us. I hope this show has really been helpful for you guys. Don't forget to follow Aaron T. Lee on Instagram and check out his trailer. We put his trailer up in the comments, so guys, go back and click on it. We'll post it again. And so because, oh, by the way, no, we didn't even say something. Oh, before we even get to the final thing, Aaron, your movie has been picked up in a film festival.
Yes.
Yay!
So it has been selected for the Toronto Indie Shorts Film Festival, which is in January. Excited about that. It's been a long process. So like you said, we don't need the validation, but when you do get awards or selections, it does give you a good sense of hope that you put together a great project. So I'm excited about that. The film festival route is, as we spoke about, Michael, is it can be crazy at some times. It's an it's an investment,
right?
And to get a selection, I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, man, look, use those laurels to promote your film. That's what it's for.
Look, with all the talks with streaming sites and networks, that's one of the first questions they ask. Is it in a film festival? Did you get a selection? So they hold a lot of weight to those film festivals, and who's seeing your work, and what is the reviews, is there any media, is there any articles or any features about it? They want to know, again, can we make money off this project? There's people waiting. What's the buzz on it? Like you want some credibility behind it, because that's what they're looking at, is who's waiting on this film. What's the audience going to be, and how can we, take that potentially to the next level and capitalize.
Yeah, because they're trying to maximize this earning potential and get a return on investment, and that's what we do as producers. That's what we do as content creators. We have to understand that. When we understand that, that's why we can negotiate.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all. We'd like to thank you guys. We'd like to once again thank Aaron T. Lee for coming out and hang out with us on the Black Filmmakers Lounge. We enjoyed each and every one of you guys, and I just want to do this real quick. We hope you guys had a party. Look, Aaron, you got these congratulations right here. Acting like Tanya says, congratulations. That's so awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Shelly says, congratulations. There you go. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. Giving support, letting people know they're doing well, and that congratulate them when they do well, because that's what we should do. So congratulations on your official film selection.
Yes.
And again, we look forward to having you back on another time. And like I said, we enjoyed you, man. And we like to thank everybody for hanging out with us at the Black Filmmakers Lounge Saturday morning industry. Oh, I'm sorry. I got to go ahead and post this because this lady said, "You go, boy."
I know that's right, Amber. Come on, Amber.
There you go. Look at that. That's what I'm
Yeah,
talking.
look at him, boy. He got a little extra arc
You
in
know
his
what?
back, Amber, when we posted that one.
You know what? That's all a trick. That means I gotta take her out, go buy some food. That's all a trick, you know.
Oh, you cheat. Oh, Amber,
You're not
saying
gonna
that.
fool me. No, you're not gonna fool me.
He's saying that. He's saying that really
That's
means
a mind trick.
That
That's
means
a
you
mind
really
trick.
hungry. Are you hungry, Amber? That's what he's trying to say. You hungry.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Buy her something.
Target
She
run.
said Target run.
Target run.
Oh Lord, we need to make a movie about
See?
Target. My wife's staying Target forever. Oh, all right, y'all. We like thank you very much for hanging out with us at Black Filmmakers Lounge Saturday morning and in Industry Shop Talk. I'm your host Michael Melvin, my co-host Myra T.K. Henderson, our special guest Aaron T. Lee, and we like to say, hey, thank you for joining us. If you ever want to know what the Black Filmmakers Lounge is about, it is about networking, educating, inspiring, sharing information on how we can build this film industry for the independent Black filmmaker, and that we can run it, control it, and do what we need to do because we can maximize our earning potential and not everybody just earn off of us. So I hope you get that good education, got some skill sets, got some knowledge here. And please, if you got any questions, anything you'd like for us to talk about on the show, drop those questions, drop some information, whatever it is. We're here, we're open, we're listening. So we love you guys. And those who always support us, Derek, Jacoby, Tanya.
Crystal.
I know, right? Thomas, everybody, they're out. Like, hey, Brandon, where you at, boy? He's probably on set somewhere.
We're good. Yeah.
Yeah, we bringing Brandon on soon, y'all.
Yeah, Brandon's coming on in a few weeks. So yeah.
All right, we love you guys. We out. Like, subscribe, share. Make sure you put this on your page so people who are into filmmaking want to know, because that's the best way you can show your support for the show. We love y'all, and peace.
Like, subscribe, share. Like, subscribe, share. I saw your neck movie. Like, subscribe, share. That's what Lewis usually does, Aaron, at the end of every show when he's on.
We miss my boy Lewis. Come on, brother. He's working. He's grinding.